tell you the truth, because I was like, this bitch done put her blood on it.
Got the damn chicken, sacrificed the cat.
She's like, hold on, I've done this before. Give me the cat and the chicken.
Crazy as shit.
But no, I can't even say it. I don't want to get up to 3, but the BM, that not the bowel movement, but the other one, always scared me. With the mirror, I can't even say it. I'm serious.
Okay.
Scared the poop out of me. But anyway, so we did that at the little party. I didn't do that first part. I just remember looking at it going, these bitches are crazy. These crackers are crazy. That's what I said.
Well.
Man. You didn't even know that story?
No.
Look, I didn't do it. She did it. I was dancing my big ass off out there eating some chips. That's what I came for, the dirty dancing party. So, Ashley, go on and tell them what our story with the paranormal.
I don't know if I want to. Shit. When I was younger, I would always have these little Halloween parties at my sister's house, and we call it the Shit Shack because it was a shit dive. It was old. It was the oldest house on our street, and our street has been around for a really long time. What year was that?
A long damn time ago.
That's what year it was, a long damn time ago. So we actually, it was so old that the floors were slanted, the hallways were shorter because the people back then were shorter. It was half-ass crazy. But we stayed there, and we actually had the not a haunted house, but we did tarot readings. This was a long time ago, before we even knew anything about the paranormal. We did tarot readings. We brought in a Ouija board. We bought one from Toys R Us. It was a pink one. Well, no, it glowed in the dark. This one wasn't pink. It was glow in the dark. But anyways, we would actually have them in the house. Before then, like I said, it was an old house. It was scary as shit anyways. Snakes used to come up on the porch.
Oh, tell them about the time. Our mom, oh my God, this is so funny. Our mom, we went out of town for a little bit, and she had to come watch the house, feed the animals or whatever like that. And I will never forget, when we got back one time, she's like, ooh, that's a demon house you live in. That's haunted. I went on the porch, there was just snakes and frogs everywhere. That's a bad sign. As you can tell, our family is a little superstitious. And the house would actually have frogs that would just randomly come and sit in the living room. We don't know where they came from. Yeah. Then, if you drop marbles on the floor, they would all roll over to one area. Hold on, did you tell them about the phone yet?
No, not the phone.
Oh, God.
I was just giving them the setup that we did tarot readings and Ouija board. We went
Lord, let me tell you. Let me tell you. When we went into this house, this is the oldest house on the road that we live on, okay? And I know that Ashley already told you this, but my uncle lived there before I did. And the weird thing is we were moving in, he was kind of moving out, and he comes running back in, and he's like, listen, no matter what you do, just don't answer the phone out there in the shed. And we were like, what? Now, you got to understand, we live in the country, so nothing is below ground. Like in town, they'll put some of your stuff below ground. Occasionally they do that here, but down there at that place it wasn't. Everything had wires above ground that went to these, your electric, your phone, your whatever, okay? Well, the phone would just randomly ring. I'm talking about this building was falling down. We looked inside of it one time. There was no phone or nothing, but you could hear a phone ringing out there. There was no line going to it, anything. And he was like, I don't know why it's like that, but just don't. I mean, the building fell down, and you could still hear the phone ringing from in there. It was freaky as crap. But anyway, go on.
We actually had, from our kitchen to a side room, a storage room, there was for some reason a one-way mirror. Or like at the cop's place. We didn't know what the hell it was for. And clothes were hanging out of the walls sometimes, and there was a hole in the ceiling. We came in there one time, and there was bugs running out of the faucets.
Oh, my God, that one time that I woke up early, I wear glasses, so I just kind of stumbled through the house. And you know how you just pick your chair, you sit down in it. And my husband comes around the corner, and he's like, holy crap, don't move. And I literally was sitting in the middle of some kind of animal. It was all these different bugs, and they were just heaped up around me. I'm talking about something that would be out of a damn scary movie. I didn't even know. I couldn't see. I didn't have no glasses on. I just thought the floor was brown like normal. And he was like, don't move. We were actually trying to sweep these as fast as we could to get them out of the house because there was just such an abundance of them.
Okay, so then also we clean the house from top to bottom. There's writings on the stairwell that says, "Welcome,
this
friends."
This is crazy. Like, we should have just left that house.
We should have. But the rent was so cheap, we stayed.
I know.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. So we didn't even use this back doorway because it was like stones and it was like stairs. Anyways, it was like writing carved in the stairs. It said, "Welcome, friends, stay a long time," all this scary-ass shit that went up to my room, which was a loft. I slept in the living room, and it was the worst feeling ever because I always thought something was watching me from the hallway. But, so,
yeah, like the equivalent of that is we went to, now in the paranormal, I would pick out certain things I wouldn't. One, you needed a damn exterminator with all them damn bugs and stuff. But another thing is I have been in a location, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and I couldn't sleep one night. And I knew exactly where it was coming from. I knew what was going on. And later on, it was, hey, you know, when we talked to the caretakers, they were like, we had to move our room because we had a watcher that would come in there. It was a spirit they knew that would just watch them. And it was everything that I had already experienced. So knowing that now, looking back on that, I know that it was always this doorway. Even I felt uncomfortable looking at this doorway like something was looking at you or coming through.
Birds would fly into the windows and break their necks to kill themselves.
Yep.
Back then, we were not into the paranormal, and we were told there was no such thing and you're crazy. So I slept in that living room with whatever watching me. And anyway, so we thought it was a good idea. It's a creepy house. It's Halloween time. Let's go on and play the Ouija board and do tarot cards.
Yeah, there you go.
So we did that, and there was actually, like I said, we cleaned this house from top to bottom, and it was log on the inside, and there was some reason like a trap door under these scary-ass stairs with the writing, and like I said, we cleaned it. We would have noticed there was a shoestring hanging out of this trap door we never opened. So I'm like, that's some scary-ass shit. I ain't going under there. So I took something, like, I don't remember what it was. It was like a pipe or something, and stabbed it and tried to pull it to try to see what it was, and it let go of my pipe and went back in the hole. It was scary. I said, the hell, well, they could stay in there. I ain't going after that. Shit on it. But after we used the Ouija, it's scary shit, man. I'm thinking about it now.
I know. You don't understand. Like, you know how many times we actually said that? We were like, screw it. We're just going to overlook this. And we stayed there probably 2 to 3
I ain't even got to the part about us using it.
Hold on. 2 to 3 years is what we stayed. So all these stories happened within 2 to 3 years. We've actually thought about stopping back down there because we live past that house now and said, hey, can we investigate this joint? Because we know that there's something there. But anyway, go on.
So we used it at my little Halloween party, and we did the tarot card readings. And after that, this guy moved in, and he was in tough luck. And he moved into my room because I didn't stay up there. Like I said, that's scary as hell. And I always felt like every time I went up there was something up there waiting for me. So I was like, shit on this. I ain't staying up there. I'll stay in the bottom where something's watching me. At least I'm close to my sister and her husband. So we used them, like I said. And the guy moved in. He brought all kinds of stuff, like his clothes, his army uniform or his military uniform, his blues. He brought all this stuff. And one day, he just left.
2 days, y'all. He was planning on staying there for a month, and 2 days.
He just left, and he never came back.
Yep.
Never, ever. He left all of his shit, all of his memorable belongings, and we never heard from him again.
And he actually, we met up with him one time. We saw him one time out, and he was like, that's the scariest place I've ever been. He was like, I had birds cracking their necks on the window up there. I had your scary-ass old dog that was scary itself. The house he left everything. He was so scared. And this guy was in the military, people. We aren't talking about somebody who's just, like, normal. After we used the Ouija board and stuff, I'll never forget, we were laying in bed one night, me and my husband.
I'm in the living room by myself.
You weren't there at this time. She only stayed on the weekends or when my husband was there. So don't act like we had to. You weren't there. But all of a sudden, we're laying there, dead silence, and you hear children laughing. And I will never...
The dogs went crazy, too,
Yeah, the dogs were, like, freaking out, man. They were, like, going crazy and stuff like that. And you could hear children laughing. And I, of course, being the woman, I was like, honey, get up, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget my husband. He is supportive as in, hey, y'all go do this or whatever. But there's only been a couple times that he's ever been like, whoa. He normally stays away from it. But he went and looked through the whole house, came back, and was getting ready to get in bed, and he was like, damn it, honey, we got to move. So that was our experience with the Ouija board, people.
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, go on.
So we hated this house so much. This was before, even before we used the Ouija board, stuff was happening. So we hated this house so much. We used to go and stay at my mom's. She lived like a few miles down the road. So we'd go stay with her instead. So we were coming back in, and we could have swore we turned everything off. And sometimes we'd have to bust open the front door because it was an old door and it'd swell and you couldn't really get it open. So we busted open the front door, and when we did, the TV was black, but all of a sudden it was this creepy-ass music coming from the TV. And we both just said, what the hell? And looked at each other, and it took a second, and then credits rolled like it was a scary movie. So it was just like a lot of stuff. I remember there was a snake. There was a snake on the front porch, and I jumped over the porch, because we had like this border thing. I jumped over the porch, and then dove through a window in a car just to get away from the snake.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Lord, that's
I was
funny.
screaming from the car for your husband to kill it.
Oh, my God. I've never seen so many infestations of snakes. Now, I would say okay if it was, I don't know, one little thing or two little things, but it was like an accumulation of this. And what did we decide to do?
It was over so many years.
It was 2 to 3 years that we stayed there. And it was so bad. Like, you know how as an investigator you go into a place and you're like, oh, I'm getting a bad feeling or something like that. It was constantly that I was there. It was only one room that I wanted to stay in. My husband had no effect at all on him there. He was like, come on in here. And I was like, no, I just can't be. I knew nothing about the paranormal at the time. And I just knew that I didn't want to be anywhere else except this new room that they had built. It was newer. And I was like, I'll stay in here. And I got pregnant with my son there. And I remember telling my friend, I don't know what it is about the house, but I just don't want to be there. So when my husband would come home, and if it was on a weekend, we would go stay with friends all weekend. And then if he was away, then we would stay at my mom's. It was constantly, it was a battle of, I hope I don't have to go back to that house. So anyway, people, the moral of the story is that we, as people, have to be, if you already have activity there, Jesus, don't bring out a Ouija board because it could kick it up. If we're talking about that this is something, I guess it's your own discretion.
Now, we're not saying go use the Ouija board, and we're not saying that's a good thing, but back in the day when I was younger, those were thought of differently, and it was the craft, and movies like that were out, so it was cool. I remember carrying my Ouija board, walking down the street to my best friend's house for us to play Ouija board just during the day, and their parents were there, and they were fine with it. They were like,
really?
Okay, yeah. I was just walking down the street, brought it on with me.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, our mom bought us that Ouija board, you know that?
Yep.
And she's superstitious as crap. Anyway, people, let's get to some of the issues that a paranormal investigator would face with the Ouija board. Number one, I have heard them say, well, why can't we use a Ouija board? It's the same as doing an EVP session. Or, it's just a game. It won't hurt nobody. So these are my issues on that. And I don't know about you, Ashley, you can give your opinion on this, but this is mine. When you're playing with a Ouija board, you're putting your hands on that Ouija board. When we're doing EVP sessions, we make it very known in our group. We put the recorder over there, and we're like, hey, man, you can talk into that. Don't touch us. I don't want you to use my energy, nothing like that. We set our boundaries. With a Ouija board, even if there is nothing there, if it is just a game, let's just say we're doing this, and we're actually moving it around with our fingers, we're using our fingers. We're saying, come on, use this energy I'm giving you with my fingers to move this. And that's not cool with us. I don't want anything to use anything to have to do with me unless I give it permission. So that's my number one thing. And don't take it so lightly, people. We don't know, even in our regular investigations, we don't know what the heck we're talking about. I mean, not we're talking about. We're talking to. I don't know. Ashley don't know what she's talking about, but I sure do. I'm an intellectual one.
Anyway. Now, taking everything spiritual, and if you are not a ghost hunter, taking all of this out and you are just a pure skeptic, scientist, just disproving everything, they say that actually it moving is just your subconscious getting what you want it to say.
Yeah,
and your muscle spasms making it. They say how to stop it. Stop doing that type of thing is blindfold yourself and get somebody to watch, and you do it. That's scary as shit for
Hell
one.
yeah, that is.
Now, being a paranormal investigator and having something touch me, and you're not getting away